Hey guys, TRex here, and back for another installment of the Nintendo Cinematic Universe. Everyone, we have here the first Super Smash Bros. Movie of the series. This is movie number 6 that we are on. We have had 5 movies lead up to this movie right here. The first Super Mario Bros. Movie, the first Legend of Zelda movie, the first Metroid movie, the first and only Pokemon movie, and the second Super Mario Bros. Movie. And now we have this. This story will be based on the Subspace Emissary storyline, or the adventure mode of Super Smash Bros. Brawl on the Nintendo Wii. So if you guys are new here and just now tuning in and you have not watched my previous 5 episodes of this series, or at least watched the end credit scenes at the end of those videos, you might want to do that now, because this is just going to mainly pick up from these other stories, much like a Marvel movie. So for the characters, we have Mario, Luigi, Peach, Yoshi, Bowser, Bowser Jr., Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, Wario, Link, Zelda, Ganondorf, Samus, Mark Akai or Red or Pokemon Trainer, Kirby, Pikachu, Marth, Fox, Falco, Captain Falcon, Olimar, Meta Knight, Ness, Sonic, Ancient Minister, Master Hand, and Taboo. That is a lot of characters. I'm well aware, but there are also a few characters that are excluded from this story that are actually in the Subspace Emissary storyline. Those characters are Pit, Lucas, King Dedede, and Ike. Those are the 4 prominent ones that are in that story mode that are not in this movie. But just because they are not in this story does not mean they will not show up in future installments. And for the setting, alright, we're going to be introduced to a new planet, or a new universe. This universe will contain the planet Chushin. What Chushin is it's the planet that is set in the very center of the entire multiverse of this shared saga. And when I say multiverse, I mean different universes of these different fighters that will meet up together. If you're curious what Chushin is, it is Japanese for center. Your boy thought of that one. So for the plot points, okay, this is gonna take a while, alright? So I'm gonna do my best to speed through this, because this is a long story, but I'm gonna try to go through this quickly. So for the plot points, we're gonna be starting off with some backstory. We're taken to a vast planet that's shown surrounded by subspace. If you're not familiar with what subspace is, it's like this little closed version of space that a certain species needs to be in order to survive. And you're about to find out which species. So surrounded by subspace, revealing that a civilization, the subspace deity race, which is Taboo's race, inhabits this planet. And yes, Taboo has made appearances in the first Super Mario Bros. Movie in the end credit scene, and he plays a larger role in the second Super Mario Bros. Movie. So I'm just casually revealing this now, because he is a character who has been introduced already. So this place is not Chushin, but it's a planet in which the subspace deity species lives on. One of the members of the species, not Taboo, is seen rushing to his house after having just stolen all 4 of the subspace particles. So it's also been established that there are 4 of these things, and what the subspace particles are kind of like the Infinity Stones, or like the mother boxes of this Nintendo universe. And he's like holding them in the air with energy. Like, he's not like holding the particles, but it's like kind of in the air. He's like kind of manipulating them with magic, or his power, if that makes sense. The particles are unstable, and they release an energy blast, but the figure does his best to hide it. Law enforcement is chasing after him. Alright, we got a whole entire civilization here. He makes it home and talks to his wife. Alright, we do not know who this person is. Alright, he's just some random citizen who stole the subspace particles. Wife asks her husband, who has just done this deed, who reveals his name as Nabek. Alright, that's this guy's name. He's a character I made up. What is happening? Nabek tells her that he stole the subspace particles. It's going to be revealed here in a moment that this planet houses the subspace particles, and that this species is in charge of taking care of the subspace particles. And now this guy has just stolen them. She asks if he's crazy, and he tells her that with the particles with him, they can go beyond just the subspace, and they could be free to explore the universe, but that their cowardly government forbids it. Nabek's wife tells him that she cannot be a part of this, and this upsets him. He asks her about when she said she wanted to explore the universe, and with the particles, they can do that. Remember, we still don't know all the powers of the subspace particles, but I guess this is one of those things. Law enforcement shows up, commanding Nabek to stand down and surrender the subspace particles. Nabek tries to fight back with the 4 subspace particles, but gets hit with energy blasts in all directions before he gets the chance to use them. Nabek is now under capital arrest for stealing the subspace particles. Probably the worst crime you could commit in this little civilization here. Nabek is taken to trial and taken before the king of the subspace world with the civilians watching. If you need to know what these people look like, think of Taboo. Everyone looks like him. Not identical, but just think of like different races in like Star Wars, or if you're watching like Guardians of the Galaxy, what all their people look like. That's this species. Just think of this. If that helps you get a visual. The king begins to inform Nabek of his crimes when Nabek shouts and accuses the government of settling for mediocrity and choosing to live within this confined space when they could be using the subspace particles to expand their environment, to interact with other species, and rule over civilizations. You guys might be thinking, where does Mario and Kirby come in? I'll get there. The king tells him that the subspace deities have protected the particles since the beginning of time, and that the first generation chose to settle for this space, with their creator tasking them of protecting the subspace particles with their lives. After this, the king takes the 4 subspace particles and infuses a sword with their combined power. So the subspace particles are now, like, powering up this sword. The king says that the particles are used as their salvation, but also their condemnation. And you're about to find out what he means. The king stabs Namek with the particle-infused sword, and subspace energy begins flooding into Namek's system, making him scream in pain. So he means this quite literally. All of a sudden, hordes of the hand race, like the master hand race. It's not the master hand race, it's just the hand race, because they're not quite masters. Hordes of the hand race species crash into the capital that they are in and attack the subspace deities, killing several of them. I should mention, this movie is the first movie that will be PG-13 of this saga. After this movie, there will be a lot more, but every movie that I have posted before this will have a PG rating. Yes, even the Metroid movie, but this is the first one that'll have a PG-13 rating. The king quickly releases the hatch that Namek is on, releasing Namek into the subspace void. Namek says they could have had the power to combat this, and the subspace particles cause Namek to explode. Condemnation, and the particles return to the king after causing such a thing. The hand race runs rampant across the planet, and they get to the planet's core, making it unstable. The king asks one of the hand troops how they found them, and the troop reveals that a surge from the particles like that can leave a big trace, and he is referring to when Namek stole the particles. Do you remember that surge I told you guys about that he tried to conceal? That attracted the hand race. The king tries to combat the hand race with the subspace particles, but eventually gets overrun by several hand troops and he is killed. The subspace particles release another energy surge, knocking back everyone. The surge accelerates the core. The planet eventually blows up, killing all of the inhabitants on it, and the subspace particles disperse. It is then revealed that there is only one member of the subspace deity race that survived the planet's decimation, and it's revealed to be Taboo. He wakes up and sees what happened to the planet, horrifying him. He sees the subspace particles dispersing and going in different portals, but then he sees one of them going towards him. Taboo rushes to get the particle while floating in the subspace and is able to retrieve it. He uses the particle to create his domain and to summon the Great Maze, searching the multiverse for the particles. He comes across one universe, seeing 2 brothers that have been chosen as heroes to protect everyone. He sees their potential and wonders if they could find the particles. He creates a portal in the Mushroom Kingdom, which is that place that he saw, sending the young boys to Earth to see if the particles land there. He continues searching for gifted individuals across the multiverse. In the second Super Mario Bros. Movie, Taboo had already explained how he brought the Mario Bros. To Brooklyn, but in this story, it's revealed what happened to him in his home before that, because before then he just said his people were destroyed, but now it's finally shown what happened. So now, we are taken to the present day. This story takes place right after each of their end credit scenes. Link is shown he is riding on a horse that he named Epona. You might recognize it from the games, and he is returning to Hyrule from a scout mission when his communication stone chimes in his pocket. The communication stone I'm referring to is the gossip stone from the Zelda games. I just changed the name. He examines it, and an audible message comes from the stone in Zelda's voice, asking him to come to the castle because she wants to show him something. Link smiles and continues riding towards Hyrule. In Zelda's research station in the Hyrule Castle, Zelda examines the subspace particle she had just found when Ganondorf and the Master Hand barge into her research station. You guys know all this from the end credit scene, so you guys have seen this already. Zelda tries to defend herself and uses the Triforce of Wisdom and Power, because she has both of those things now. Link sees the Triforce light up in the castle from outside, making him concerned. Link tries to call Zelda on his communication stone, but gets no response. Epona gallops faster and they rush towards Hyrule Castle. Link leaps off Epona and grabs onto the side of the castle, parkouring his way up to where Zelda is. Link is an elite athlete. Ganondorf has apprehended Zelda and asks the Master Hand where they're going. The Master Hand tells him to the place where the particles will align. This leaves Ganondorf confused, and the Master Hand tells him that's where he's going with Zelda. He tells Ganondorf to take a few hand troops with him to retrieve the subspace particle in the Mushroom Kingdom, and the Master Hand opens up 2 portals with the subspace particle that he has, because he has one of them. 3 hand troops join Ganondorf to go through the other portal. Link makes it to the entrance of Zelda's research room, and he sees Ganondorf. He had just put this man to sleep. At the end of the first Legend of Zelda movie, he's able to harness the Triforce of Courage and unlock his true potential as a hero and put Ganondorf Ganondorf to sleep in a little slumber. But now he sees Ganondorf awake, temporarily awake from the Master Hand's magic. I did mention that. Link is stunned, saying that that's impossible, and Ganondorf sees him at the entrance. They stare at each other, but then Ganondorf and the hand troops go through the other portal and close it. Link shoots an arrow at Ganondorf, and it hits him in the shoulder as they go through the portal, leaving Link alone in Zelda's research room. Ganondorf yelps in pain as he removes Link's arrow from his shoulder and tosses it on the ground. In this new area, he examines the Mushroom Kingdom and asks what kind of place this is, because the Mushroom Kingdom, you guys should know this, the Mushroom Kingdom and Hyrule are very different. Like, astronomically different. One of the hand troops asks where the particle is, because they can talk. Some of them can. Ganondorf sees Peach's castle in the distance, smiles, and points to it, saying, let's start there. Ganondorf approaches the castle and knocks on the door. Toadsworth answers the door, seeing Ganondorf smiling and towering over him. Ganondorf politely asks where the subspace particle is, and Toadsworth, stammering in fear, says he doesn't know what he's talking about, pressing a panic button that he has hidden behind him. Mario and Luigi are resting in the room and wake up to the panic alert from Toadsworth. They look from the window in their parents' house and see Ganondorf from where they live. They rush downstairs and say goodbye to their mother, going to Peach's castle. Ganondorf starts raising his voice at Toadsworth, saying he knows that they know where the particle is, based on Toadsworth's reaction. But then the Mario Bros confront Ganondorf. The Mario Bros and Ganondorf meet, and they have a confrontation, learning that Ganondorf is here for the subspace particle. And they fight. Their battle is pretty intense, and the hand troops start raiding Toad Town, crashing into houses and just causing a ruckus. The Mario Bros change their demeanor and they become serious. They coordinate their attacks together to take down Ganondorf, like the absolutely flawless teamwork that they have now. But Ganondorf finds a window to deal a devastating Shadow Fist, or whatever that, right to Mario's gut, and Mario stumbles back and collapses. Ganondorf's neutral B. Luigi focuses up and deals quick but powerful blows to Ganondorf. Mario groans in pain getting up, but continues fighting. Under Peach's castle, Peach takes the device containing the subspace particle because they said they would keep it at the end of the second Super Mario Bros. Movie, and she rushes out of the castle with it. The hand troops around them are sabotaging them too, as well as releasing waves of darkness at them. Peach uses the device and blasts Ganondorf with subspace energy. The hand troops target Peach, but the Mario Bros stop them while in the air. Luigi leaps at Ganondorf, but Ganondorf swipes Luigi away, sending him flying into the fountain in front of the castle, breaking a section off of it. Mario leaps at Ganondorf, but Ganondorf catches Mario by the throat and tosses him away. Luigi rushes to Mario and catches him before he can make a painful impact with the ground. Ganondorf lifts up the fountain, like the stone fountain, along with the foundation, and throws it at Peach. Mario steps in front of Peach and takes the impact, shards flying from the concrete fountain and hitting both Mario and Peach. Alright, things are getting intense, leaving both of them injured. Luigi kicks Ganondorf in the face, but then gets tossed into the debris with shards digging into Luigi upon impact. I am telling you guys, it's getting intense! Mario is in pain, getting up and bloodied, but he continues fighting. He pulls out a mini item box, because they have those now, from his pocket, getting a fire flower, and getting a power boost, and wailing Ganondorf with fireballs. And also fire punches, dealing a lot of damage to Ganondorf. Peach, in pain, gets up and fires more subspace energy at Ganondorf. And with that combined with Mario's attacks, they defeat him as Peach passes out. Ganondorf gets up and tells the hand troops they're leaving to regroup and vows to the Mario Bros that they will retrieve the subspace particle. He sees Luigi lying down on the debris right next to him, and he snatches Luigi, taking him with them through the portal as a hostage. Mario tries to stop Ganondorf, but he hits Mario with a powerful blow, leaving a seriously damaged Toad Town. And then Mario weakly calls out Taboo's name, because, as you guys know, they've already met at this point. Taboo is the one who told the Mario Bros in the Mushroom Kingdom about the subspace particles in the first place. A portal opens up next to Mario, and he carries an unconscious Peach, as well as the device containing the subspace particle, through the portal, and the portal gets closed behind him. Taboo asks what happened, and Mario tells him that they came for it. Taboo tells Mario that the Master Hand must be actively looking for the particles, and he looks back over at the Great Maze. The main display shows an unseen planet showing subspace activity there. Taboo says that the particles have aligned together and that it has begun and it's time to bring everyone together. Mario tells Taboo that this guy took Luigi, and Taboo says that he probably took him to Chushin, which is the first time we're hearing this name of the planet. Mario asks what that is. Taboo says that it's a planet set in the very center of the multiverse, acting as the bridge between all universes. Mario angrily asks Taboo how important these particles are that Toad Town had to suffer for it. Taboo reveals that the Master Hand is is running rampant throughout the multiverse and seeks to find the subspace particles for himself. He says that he has likely recruited beings across the multiverse and has the freedom to do it himself without being confined in the subspace like Taboo is. So the Master Hand can leave the subspace anytime he wants. But Taboo, he literally cannot leave the subspace or he dies. Otherwise, he would have just gotten these particles himself. He says that 20 years ago, a member of the subspace deity species, Nabek, betrayed his species by stealing the 4 subspace particles, and it resulted in the hand race invading his homeworld and destroying everything, including every last member of the subspace deity except for him, the sole survivor of the events. He says that with the particles aligning on Chushin, the Master Hand will try to retrieve the particles to finish what his species started. Mario asks him what he meant by bringing everyone together, and Taboo says that he has found gifted individuals across the multiverse to transport to Chushin, and that he wants Mario to find them and recruit them on Taboo's behalf. Mario asks how he's supposed to do that, and this is idea wild. Taboo gives Mario some of his subspace power. Mario's clothes change from red clothes and blue overalls to cosmic light blue clothes and black overalls. So Mario has changed his look. Taboo says that he has given Mario the power to harness the subspace particles and the sense to find his chosen individuals, as well as free subspace power blasts. Taboo says it's time to summon everyone and that the battlefield awaits. Mario asks Taboo to leave Peach with him and for Taboo to heal Peach, and Taboo agrees. He opens up a portal in his domain and Mario gets sucked into it, starting a montage. Link sees a subspace portal in the sky above Hyrule and he gets sucked into it. Red, in a gate village in the Pokemon world, gets sucked into a subspace portal. You guys saw this at the end of the Pokemon movie. Taboo observes the Great Maze and sees that the individuals he selected are getting transported to Chushin in different areas. He sees one of the panels on the Great Maze showing the Halberd flying through the sky, revealing Meta Knight steering the ship. I'm sure you guys know who Meta Knight is, and his ship, the Halberd. The Master Hand with Zelda transports to a large floating island hovering above the ocean. A large laboratory occupies the island, and Rob models maintain the laboratory. Zelda angrily asks the Master Hand what his name is as she tries to break free, but the Master Hand confines her with subspace energy. The Master Hand tells her that his game is to finish what his race started and to eliminate the last of the subspace deity species, which is Taboo. He tells her he doesn't need her right now and tells her about another power that the subspace particles have. He attempts to use the power of the subspace particle on Zelda, but Zelda breaks free with her power of the Triforce, dodging a black arrow of energy. Zelda confronts the Master Hand, asking what that was. The Robs see what's happening and attempt to retaliate against the two of them, but the Master Hand quickly uses the particle to take over the Robs' minds and control them. Taboo, from his Great Maze, sees the commotion between Zelda and the Master Hand on one of the panels in his Great Maze, and he sees that the Master Hand has one of the subspace particles. While the Master Hand uses the particle, Zelda finds an opening to blast powerful Triforce energy at the Master Hand, forcing it back. Zelda is low-key overpowered. At this point, the Robs are under the Master Hand's control and attempt to apprehend Zelda, but a subspace portal opens up, taking Zelda inside before the Robs can get her. The Master Hand is frustrated by her escaping, but tells his newly controlled Robs that she will return soon enough, once again displaying the particle. In Taboo's domain, Zelda wakes up and sees Taboo floating by his Great Maze. If you're confused what the Great Maze is, alright, in the game, it's like this huge array of little places you can go to, but the Great Maze in this, it's like a giant computer that has all these screens displaying these different universes. And she also sees Peach being healed in a subspace healing pod. Zelda and Taboo meet, with Zelda frustrated at Taboo from stopping her from getting the particle. Taboo tells her that she could not have taken on that many entities by herself, and that she'll find a better opportunity to retrieve the particles once she joins the others. Zelda asks about that, and Taboo tells her how he brought heroes from across the multiverse to help find the subspace particles, and that Taboo already has 2 of the particles. The one that he got in his backstory, and the second one that Mario brought Taboo when he was brought in from the Mushroom Kingdom after Ganondorf tried to take it. Mario gave Taboo the particle. Taboo tells her about Mario, who had an encounter with Ganondorf, who he confirmed was working with the Master Hand. Taboo says that his goal is to stop the Master Hand and Ganondorf from obtaining the 4 subspace particles, and he asks Zelda to meet up with Mario and help him find the others. Zelda agrees, and Taboo sends her to Mario's location, wherever that is. Meta Knight continues flying the ship, and it's revealed that he is flying towards where the island is, the floating island. Whenever I say the word island, just assume I'm talking about this floating island. He takes out a communication device emanating subspace energy, and Taboo's face is revealed. Taboo asks Meta Knight if he was able to get improved equipment for his chosen champions, and Meta Knight confirms it, telling him that he has the equipment in storage. Meta Knight tells Taboo that he's detecting enough subspace energy to form one of the particles from the island, and Taboo commends him, asking him to be be careful in retrieving the subspace particle. Meta Knight assures them that he'll get it, and they end their conversation. The Master Hand can see the halberd in the distance, and he flies there, fast. Meta Knight can see the Master Hand approaching him at high speed, and gets out of the way as the Master Hand crashes through the windshield of the ship. The Master Hand shows the overwhelming presence of the subspace particle and confronts Meta Knight. Meta Knight gets his sword out and fights the Master Hand, but he dodges his attacks and swiftly turns Meta Knight into a trophy with subspace energy. You know those trophies from the game? The Master Hand then throws the trophy of Meta Knight overboard, taking the wheel and turning it away from the island. He takes the halberd across the beach and towards the ruins. The Master Hand leaves the cockpit and stands on the roof of the halberd when he sees a mysterious starship approaching the ship and firing. The Master Hand rapidly approaches the ship and lands on the cockpit, and he tears the ship apart. The unknown pilot struggles to maintain control, and the Master Hand sends the ship crash landing towards the surface of the planet. The Master Hand returns to the halberd and summons a subspace portal with Wario walking through it. The Master Hand tells Wario to command the ship and to use it to stop Taboo's chosen champions, and to find Zelda and retrieve her, because she could be anywhere at this point. Wario laughs and tells him he's got someone at the top of his list, taking out a firing machine powered with subspace energy. Much like the machines that actually fire these black energy arrows. You guys might know what I'm talking about. It's literally that. And now Samus is revealed. Samus, without her power suit, pretty much just imagine Zero Suit Samus. She's seen lying in a patch of grass asleep. In her sleep, she remembers what happened to her. She has a flashback of when she encountered the subspace particle in that abandoned facility, and how she took the particle and she was able to put the particle in one of the latches in her suit. I forgot to mention that at the end of the Metroid movie, but she took the particle and she was about to be able to put the particle in her suit when she was ambushed by the hand troops because of the subspace particle. The two portals opened up when they were in space, and the subspace particle went through one of them, which was the one that ended up in the Mushroom Kingdom and is now in Taboo's possession. And with the other portal, it only took Samus's power suit, leaving Zero Suit Samus in space. But then another portal opened up, and then it took Samus into the portal. Her power suit flies out of the portal, and it lands on the floating island with the mind-controlled Robs surrounding it. And Samus herself flies in a different direction from the portal and lands in the patch of grass far from the island, like miles upon miles upon miles. Samus wakes up realizing that she doesn't have her power suit. She frantically opens up a holographic computer that she can access even without a power suit, and she searches for a signal from her power suit. She finds the signal, revealing the suit to be on the floating island. Samus hears commotion from the beach next to her, revealing Ganondorf walking out of a subspace portal, still dragging Luigi behind him. Samus stealthily approaches them, disgusted by Ganondorf forcing Luigi behind him. Ganondorf looks out into the distance and sees Ridley's dead body approaching the shore. Remember, Ridley's corpse was also transported to this place. Samus sees this and is horrified. Meanwhile, Ganondorf smiles. Ganondorf radios the Master Hand and tells him that he found an interesting looking specimen that he can take back to base. And the Master Hand tells him that the Robs he controls found something interesting too, a power suit. Samus can't contain her anger and fires a plasma blast at Ganondorf, literally stunning him. Luigi looks back and sees Samus charging at them. Ganondorf recovers, and Samus and Luigi team up against him. Ganondorf radios the Master Hand and requests that he opens up a portal for him and the specimen to take back to base. They fight some more, and as they have Ganondorf on the ropes, the portal opens up, sucking in Ganondorf and Ridley's body, leaving Samus and Luigi. Luigi thanks Samus for saving him, and Samus and Luigi team up, sharing each other's knowledge on how they got there, as well as what they know about the subspace particles. Samus tells Luigi that she's now looking for her suit, as it is powerful enough to hold the subspace particles. That was confirmed at the end of the first Metroid movie. Mario wakes up in a dark room, barely hearing audible cheering. As he stammers awake, he notices that he has the same kind of communication device containing subspace energy as Meta Knight, and it's alerting Mario that he has a call. Mario answers, and Taboo talks to him. Taboo tells Mario that he's been summoned to an arena to fight one of the heroes that he brought to Chushin. He tells Mario to find his man on the inside, Meta Knight, and to see if the hero who was summoned here with him knows anything about him. Mario mutters that was very vague as they hang up, and he exits the room to enter the arena. He looks around and sees a massive crowd in the stands around the battlefield. Above the arena, he sees the icon of the Smash Ball, unaware of what it is because he's never seen it before. The announcer welcomes everyone to the Smash Arena, confusing Mario, clarifying, Smash Arena? The announcer introduces him as Mario. He approaches the center and sees a character trophy falling in front of him and getting revived, seeing the other hero, with the announcer revealing Kirby. And the announcer tells the crowd these two will fight each other, dramatizing to the death! Mario is shocked and looks back at Kirby, who stares at him with a blank, innocent expression. Mario sees that Kirby is too adorable to kill, let alone fight. Mario tells him that, and wants to know if this guy knows Meta Knight. Kirby's interest grows, indicating that this guy indeed knows who Meta Knight is, leaving Mario excited but also confused how Kirby could possibly know this individual. Mario tries to tell Kirby that a guy named Taboo brought them here, and he asks Kirby if he can help him look for the subspace particles that are scattered here. A portal opens up in the upper deck of the stands, and Zelda walks out. She sees Kirby and Mario down below. A lady next to her frustratedly asks Zelda if she brought her ticket. The announcer starts up again, starting the fight. Mario tries to plead with Kirby that they should work together and not fight. Kirby gets out his hammer, with Mario confused where it came from, and in the blink of an eye, Kirby, with his hammer, launches Mario into one of the walls of the arena, creating a strong impact and making the crowd go nuts. Mario groans in pain, getting up, calling Taboo. When Taboo answers, Mario demands to know what this guy is. What is this dude Kirby? Taboo tells him about Kirby and that he's a valuable asset that can help him find the subspace particles. Mario asks Taboo if he's going to help him with this battle, and Taboo says it doesn't make any difference to him, whichever one wins, just as long as they don't kill each other. However, he advises Mario to get familiar with his new powers. Don't forget he has those. Kirby charges at Mario, and Mario hits Kirby with a powerful subspace beam, sending Kirby flying. Mario marvels at his attack and gains confidence. Their fight continues on, with each combatant landing hits on each other as Mario's subspace beams weaken Kirby more. Taboo warns Mario not to kill him. As Kirby charges again, Mario activates his subspace powers, unknowingly firing the same kind of black energy arrow that the Master Hand fired at Zelda, but it hits Kirby and it turns him into a character trophy, which he was previously. The crowd cheers and Zelda is impressed by each fighter's abilities. The announcer concludes that Mario has won this battle. Zelda notices this and realizes that this is the guy Taboo told her to find. The announcer tells Mario to kill Kirby, but Mario refuses. The crowd boos, but Mario holds his ground, refusing to kill Kirby. Mario looks at the base of the trophy, noticing that it's a golden circle with the same pattern as the Smash Ball he saw a bit ago. He touches it and Kirby is revived. Not knowing it would do that, he just thought it looks cool, but now he knows that touching the surface of the gold circle thing will revive whoever that fighter is. Eventually, the halberd flies over to the battlefield and Kirby recognizes it. He tries to signal to Mario that he knows that ship. Mario picks up on Kirby's signals, concluding that the ship approaching belongs to Meta Knight, Taboo's man on the inside. However, one of the bottom latches opens up, and subspace energy comes out of it and lands on the battlefield, confusing Mario and Kirby and freaking out the crowd. The lady that confronted Zelda is freaking out too, and Zelda asks her what's going on. The lady tells her that that kind of subspace will destroy the arena. The crowd tries to evacuate, and Zelda helps out before joining Mario and Kirby on the arena floor. They notice Zelda approaching them, and they meet, agreeing to team up against the subspace energy forming into beings. The subspace energy forms into pyramids, and the pyramids attack the new team, Mario, Kirby, and Zelda. They fight together and defeat the pyramids. In the distance, they see two more beings join them from the halberd. A mysterious cloaked figure with yellow eyes carries Wario down from the halberd and drops him in front of them. Mario is stunned to see Wario, and they confront him. Wario introduces the figure as the ancient minister, and their plans to steal the subspace particles and cover the planet in subspace. The ancient minister releases the device it's holding, and Robs activate the device, revealing it to be a subspace bomb that has a 3-minute timer. Mario and Zelda look around and see that people are still evacuating the arena, then have a confrontation with Wario. Wario says that the Master Hand promised him a lifetime of riches just to cooperate with him, and that it doesn't take much more convincing than that. Mario asks where Waluigi is, and Wario says he missed out, as Waluigi wasn't with him when the Master Hand came to him. The Ancient Minister tries to go back to the ship while Mario, Kirby, and Zelda fight Wario. As Ancient Minister flies away, it looks back on the rods attached to the subspace bomb, and looks down as if it's sad as it's flying away. Wario fires black energy arrows from his machine, but they dodge. Mario and Zelda overpower Wario, but before they can capture him, Wario uses subspace energy to escape out of the arena. Subspace energy that he also has in this firing machine that he has. It does more than just fire the arrows. The timer on the subspace bomb now has 10 seconds left. Kirby returns to the arena and summons his warp star, and picks up Mario and Zelda, flying them out of the arena and escaping the subspace bomb as it blows up, creating a giant sphere of subspace surrounding the area. Mario looks back at it as they fly towards the halberd. It's making a crash course into the planet, because Wario, the one who was previously commanding the ship, well, he's not on the halberd anymore. Link wakes up in a forest. He gets up wondering what happened to him. He explores for a while and finds Yoshi resting on a tree trunk. He wakes him up and they meet, agreeing to team up. In the distance, they see the halberd zooming into the forest where they are. Link looks at his hand, and his Triforce of Courage releases a signal telling Link that the other two Triforce pieces are on the halberd, which those other two Triforce pieces belong to Zelda. Link asks about Zelda and tells Yoshi that they need to board that ship. Yoshi tells Link to hop on. Link finds this weird, but Yoshi assures them that it's normal. Link rides on Yoshi following the direction that the halberd is heading. The halberd gets low enough and Yoshi leaps high into the air. Link hops off of Yoshi, grasping a handle on the halberd and catching Yoshi with his other hand. Mario, Kirby, and Zelda work together to take control of the halberd, and they find the ancient minister who has previously fled from the battle arena back onto the ship. They're able to overpower it, but the ancient minister escapes before they can capture it. They steer it back up into the air just before it can collide with the forest. As the halberd zooms back into the air, it takes a great deal of strength for Link to hold on to the outside of the halberd while carrying Yoshi in the other. The ship is rapidly going to the air, and Link is hanging on. While the halberd ascends, Link muscles Yoshi onto a safe platform on the halberd, and Yoshi helps Link up. The halberd returns to the air, and Link and Yoshi have boarded. Wario is just outside the subspace blast, which has retained its form as a spherical, closed atmospheric space. He lets the Master Hand know that he blew up the arena, but that Mario and his friends took control of the halberd. The Master Hand is frustrated and says that if Taboo wants to get in his way with his champions, then he'll bring in his own champions. The Master Hand activates the subspace particle, and various portals open up. On Sky Pillar in the Hoenn region, in the Pokemon world, a massive portal opens up, and a menacing-looking Pokemon enters the portal. It's not fully revealed who this Pokemon is. It has a dark aura around it, similar to a shadow Pokemon. In the gray, cloudy sky covering a ruined zoo, a subspace portal opens up, and it drops Red and the final subspace particle. Red lands in a section of the zoo, and the particle falls in a completely different area, because that subspace particle brought Red from the Pokemon world to this place. A young boy wandering through the zoo finds Red and helps him get up. The young boy introduces himself as Ness, and that he's been here for a little while. Red goes through his Pokeballs and discovers that he only has Charizard, Ivysaur, and Squirtle, and was not able to recover his Yveltal and Sudowoodo. Another subspace portal opens up away from them, and Porky, a giant machine with several spiky lights, comes out and sees the two of them. It recognizes Ness and becomes hostile. Red explains that somehow he was brought here, and it definitely had something to do with that comet. Remember, that's all people from the Pokemon world referred to it as. They didn't know it was called the subspace particle, that it was just this comet. Ness agrees to help him look for it when Porky ambushes them. Ness recognizes it and tells Red that this thing is very dangerous. Red sends out his Charizard, Ivysaur, and Squirtle, and they fight with Ness against Porky. They fight for a while, and to finish Porky off, Ness shouts PK Pulse, sending a flash of green light at it and blowing Porky into smithereens. Red commends him, and they look for the subspace particle. The particle is seen and gives off a slight energy pulse, activating a mysterious tank with a rhinoceros-looking head. Its eyes glow with subspace power. Red notices it picking up the subspace particle as it leaves, and Red directs Ness after the machine, chasing it. Now we're taken to the outskirts of the ruins. An unknown person wanders about. He eventually sees a character trophy lying in the dirt. He takes off the hood covering his face, revealing himself as a young warrior. He approaches it and sees that it's Meta Knight encased in the trophy. He examines the design of the golden circle surrounding the base of the trophy and touches it, reviving Meta Knight. Once Meta Knight recovers, the warrior introduces himself as Marth. Meta Knight explains how everyone was brought here by Taboo and how the enemy hijacked his ship. They learn about each other when in the distance, a tank-looking machine from the ruined zoo travels across the ruins going at a high speed. Marth asks Meta Knight if he knows what that is, but Meta Knight has not seen it before. Meta Knight looks closely and sees a faint light glowing from within the head of the tank, and it resembles the light that the subspace particle gives off. They agree to chase it down. Link and Yoshi sneak onto the halberd when they find the storage section of the halberd. There they find equipment customized for each fighter that Taboo has brought to Chushin, with the fighter's name labeled above the equipment. Link sees his own name and sees several different kinds of advanced arrows and weaponry, even some chain armor. Link feels creeped out but is impressed with his potential upgrade. He examines one of the types of arrows and that it comes with an electricity band. He puts the band on his wrist and he turns it up slightly, and with that the arrow that he's holding releases small amounts of electricity from around the arrow. Link hears someone coming and quickly grabs his new equipment and takes takes Yoshi behind cover as Mario walks in. Mario thought he heard commotion, but he realizes that he is also in here for the first time. Yoshi starts to call out to Mario, but Link covers Yoshi's mouth, leaving Yoshi confused. Link says he's not ready to reveal himself yet and that he doesn't know enough about this place to trust anybody. Yoshi says that he knows Mario. Link looks back at Mario and sees the cosmic design of his clothes and how it reminded him of the portal that opened up in Hyrule. With that, Link tells Yoshi, well, I don't. And now Mario is doing an interview with an unknown entity and doing an audition to join the team. It's revealed that he is interviewing Sonic, who is very upbeat. Mario asks Sonic what he can do. Sonic tells Mario that he can run really fast. Mario doesn't know how fast, but nods in approval. Mario asks what else he can do, and Sonic tells him to watch this. Sonic stands up and tells Mario that he can get into the fetal position. He then lays on the floor and curls up into a blue ball, leaving Mario confused. Mario tells Sonic that they'll give him a call. The halberd lands and they let Sonic out. Sonic is frustrated and thought he had that interview down. There's also a part where Mario looks at Sonic's resume and asks him about this picture, and Sonic prefers not to talk about that. But that's just a fun little bonus thing. Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong wake up in a jungle near where the halberd is. As they get up, they make sure they have their extra reserve of bananas with them that they brought on their way here. They explore the surroundings and find out more about where they landed. In the trees above them, Bowser Jr. looks down on them from his clone car, smiling and laughing softly. Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong walk back towards their banana stash when Bowser Jr. swoops in with his clown car and picks up the stash and flies away deeper into the forest, taunting them. Furious, the Kongs chase after him. Diddy Kong activates his jetpack and fires his peanut gun at Bowser Jr. Several of Bowser's minions show up and fight the Kongs. Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong fight Bowser's minions in the forest and continue chasing Bowser Jr. They get to an open patch surrounded by trees, and the Kongs have Bowser Jr. cornered, where they have a confrontation. Bowser Jr. releases the bananas, leaving the Kongs confused, telling him that they thought him and Bowser had a change of heart because of the events of the second Super Mario Bros. Movie. They hear Bowser's voice from within the forest, clarifying Donkey Kong's statement, saying that they never did, but at the time all they had was a common enemy, referring to Fawful and the Dark Star. Bowser officially reveals himself, showing that he has the same kind of black energy arrow firing machine that Wario has. Bowser thanks Bowser Jr. for leading them to him. Donkey Kong asks Bowser why he's doing this, and Bowser tells him that the Master Hand is very convincing and made a good deal with him. His compliance for the Mushroom Kingdom. Remember when I said Bowser's ambitions for the Mushroom Kingdom never died? Well, it leads to this. Bowser fights Donkey Kong while Bowser Jr. fights Diddy Kong. After a while, Diddy Kong hits Bowser Jr. directly in the face with one of the peanuts he fired from his gun, knocking out Bowser Jr. It's a fierce battle between Bowser and Donkey Kong. Remember, this is round 2 for them. And eventually, Donkey Kong is able to force Bowser back. Bowser sees that Diddy Kong had let his guard down and aims his machine at Diddy Kong. Donkey Kong steps in and punches Diddy Kong, sending him flying away from the area. And Donkey Kong ends up taking the black energy arrow, turning Donkey Kong into a character trophy. Bowser Jr. wakes up dazed, and Bowser approaches Donkey Kong's trophy. Bowser calls the Ancient Minister, and it comes down to Bowser. Bowser tells the Ancient Minister to take the trophy to the Master Hand. He also says that he came at a good time considering the halberd is practically right next to him. Remember, they were right next to where the halberd had landed to let Sonic out. He tells the Ancient Minister he's taking the halberd back and tells Bowser Jr. to go back to the island. Bowser hears the halberd firing up again, and he leaps to the top of the halberd before it can take off. Mario hears a thud at the top of the halberd. Zelda and Kirby notice it too, and they rush with Mario to the top of the halberd. They see Bowser at the top where they have a confrontation. Mario thought Bowser was good now, but Bowser tells Mario that it's not personal this time. Zelda, Kirby, and Mario fight Bowser, and Link and Yoshi rush to the halberd to catch up with them. Link never saw Zelda during this time, just saying this right now. At the top, they keep fighting when Bowser gets a clean shot on Zelda with his black energy arrow machine, turning Zelda into a character trophy. Mario rushes at Bowser to try to revive Zelda, but Bowser swats him away. Kirby rushes at Bowser and inhales him. Kirby absorbs Bowser's powers, and they fire flame breaths at each other. Mario then punches Bowser away from Zelda. Bowser releases subspace energy from his firing machine, and it surrounds Zelda, making a mind-controlled subspace clone of Zelda from the trophy. Subspace Zelda then fights Mario and Kirby, and uses its magic to send Kirby flying overboard the halberd. Bowser summons the Ancient Minister, who still has Donkey Kong's trophy, and takes Zelda's trophy with it. Mario tries to help Kirby, but Subspace Zelda keeps Mario on the halberd to continue fighting. As Link and Yoshi make it to the top, they see Mario overpower Subspace Zelda with his own subspace powers, and he destroys the subspace clone of Zelda. All Link sees is that Mario destroyed a being that resembled Zelda, and Link seethes with rage. Mario tries to charge at Bowser, but Link, at full force, tackles Mario, launching both of them off the halberd and crashing into the trees of the forest, with Yoshi following them down. Bowser laughs, having just retaken the halberd. Mario and Link land, and Mario tries to board the halberd again when Link stops him. Mario angrily asks what he's thinking, and Link, full of rage, accuses Mario of killing Zelda. First impressions, am I right? Mario tries to explain himself and says that they were working together. Link then accuses Mario of betraying Zelda, if that's the case. Yoshi approaches them and tries to tell Link that Mario wouldn't do something like that, and that it had to be some kind of mistake. Because remember, Yoshi saw the same thing Link saw. He doesn't know who this Zelda is. Mario tries to tell Link that this was a copycat of Zelda, and that Bowser and that robot thing took the real Zelda away, but Link does not listen to him. Yoshi continues trying to convince Link, but Link angrily asks Yoshi if he's going to get in his way. Mario grows angry and tells Link not to involve Yoshi. Mario then punches Link with subspace energy, sending him flying into an open field. Yoshi begs Mario not to fight, but Mario tells Yoshi to get somewhere safe and that he'll handle this. Mario approaches Link as he gets up, and they have a confrontation. They have a fierce, ongoing battle, showing off their enhanced skills. Mario displays his superhuman strength, stamina, and subspace power, while Link shows off his own superhuman strength, speed, tactics, and advanced skills in weaponry, using his new weapons that he took from the halberd. Mario uses subspace energy, and Link uses the Triforce of Courage within the Master Sword to combat each other's abilities. In reality, the Triforce doesn't stand a chance against the subspace particles, but Link's hanging in there. There is a point when Mario gets Link in the air and spikes him down to the ground with a powerful punch, much like you see in the Smash games. But eventually, Link has Mario pinned against a tree and fires one of his advanced arrows directly next to Mario's face. Mario taunts him that he missed, but Link activates his electricity band, and the arrow electrocutes Mario, making Link the winner of this battle. Mario is still being electrocuted as Link tells Mario that he's going to tell him everything he knows. And at this point, Kirby has joined them again. Now, Luigi and Samus are still traveling across Chushin together on their way to the island and have made their way into the jungle. They eventually find Diddy Kong passed out on the ground, and they rush to help him after Luigi recognizes him from the Mushroom Kingdom. Diddy Kong tells them what happened to Donkey Kong, and they let Diddy Kong join them. They end up on the side of the lake where they see a crashed starship. There is an unknown entity in the lake watching them. They talk amongst themselves. Luigi tells them more about the subspace particles and how one of the particles caused them a rough time a bit ago, referring to what happened in the second Super Mario Bros. Movie, and how there's this guy named Taboo that wants to find all of the particles to bring his people back. Samus asks Luigi if he trusts Taboo, and Luigi says that his brother does. And this is when Samus tells them that she wants to destroy the subspace particles because she thinks they're dangerous, no matter whose hands the particles lie into, after researching them. All of a sudden, Rayquaza, the Pokemon that came in from Sky Pillar, emerges from the lake and ambushing them. Luigi, Samus, and Diddy Kong can't see the dark aura around Rayquaza, but it's revealed to the audience that Rayquaza has become a shadow Pokemon from somewhere. We don't know. Luigi and Diddy Kong freak out, but then they prepare to fight it with Samus as the unknown pilot in the crashed spaceship wakes up and calls for backup. Diddy Kong fires his peanut gun at Rayquaza, but it snatches Diddy Kong, taking him back to the lake. Rayquaza notices movement in the crashed ship and fires a beam at it when the pilot leaps out of it and in the blink of an eye rushes over to Rayquaza's hand, setting Diddy Kong free. Fox is revealed and joins Luigi and Samus as Diddy Kong makes it back over to them. The four of them fight Rayquaza for a while. They work together surprisingly well and sneak in several hits on Rayquaza, this shadow legendary Pokemon. Luigi does not have any power-ups, but his kicks still do a good amount of damage. Eventually, Rayquaza has the fighters on the ropes when backup comes in, and Rayquaza gets hit in the face with a missile. It looks back and sees an identical starship to Fox's. Falco is revealed having a blast. He fires more shots at it, then jumps out of his ship, speed blitzing the Rayquaza and knocking it down. The four fighters, as well as Falco, use this opportunity to attack the Rayquaza as much as they can before Rayquaza finally faints. Falco joins them, and Fox thanks him for the backup. Fox and Falco officially introduce themselves, and they learn of Diddy Kong's plan to rescue Donkey Kong, as well as Samus's plan to retake her power suit. Red and Ness peer over the edge of the cliff of the ruined zoo, and they see the ruins that are next to this zoo thing. They see two swordsmen, which are Martha and Meta Knight, chasing the machine they saw earlier. Red sends out Charizard, and he and Ness fly on him, going to join the swordsmen. Mario, Link, Kirby, and Yoshi travel together, and they see the halberd in the sky, which has been retaken by Bowser. Mario wishes they had a particle so they could portal up there. Mario gets his device out and asks Taboo if he can make a portal from his location. Taboo says he's already used it several times, and if he uses them anymore, the Master Hand could find his location before before he gets all 4 of the particles. Mario groans and hangs up. Link clarifies what Mario told him about the subspace particles, asking about Taboo, and Mario answers his questions. So Link is finding out more information about this subspace stuff, because he had no idea. Mario tells them that a guy named Ganondorf came for it when it was in the Mushroom Kingdom, and Link freezes. Link tells Mario who he is and that Ganondorf is his greatest enemy. Mario then tells Link that he was super easy to deal with, ignoring the fact that Ganondorf beat Mario to a bloody pulp. Link asks Mario if he had the Triforce. Mario asks what that is, and Link says he didn't think so. Keep in mind, Ganondorf no longer has any of the Triforce pieces. As Mario explained more about himself to Link, as Link had Mario in his captivity, Link realizes that this guy might not have killed Zelda, but he's still very cautious about this guy, because this guy actually doesn't seem like the kind of person to do that kind of thing. But he still doesn't trust him at this point. And they keep this up, trying to one-up each other as they make it to the entrance of a cave. So as you can see, Mario and Link have kind of developed a bit of a rivalry. They hear music coming from inside it, and they decide to put in earpieces, which are more things that they got from the halberd after getting yeeted off the ship. They enter the cave and realize there's a fight club going on inside it. Sorry, it's another kind of fight club. Leaving the 4 confused. They wander throughout the club when they eventually get to the arena. Mario sees who's fighting and says, "You have got to be kidding me," as he sees Wario inside the arena, beating the absolute bejesus out of his opponent. Wario hits his opponent with a heavy blow and knocks him out. The crowd goes wild and Wario calls out to his fans. Link asks Mario if he knows him. Mario tells Link that he's from the same place as him and that he joined forces with the Master Hand. Link says that's great, that he can get answers from him. Link then shoves Mario into the arena, where Mario reunites with Wario, having another confrontation. They start another battle, leading to Mario and Wario fighting each other, with Mario realizing that Wario has gotten stronger and is keeping up with him. Mario blasts Wario with subspace energy, but then gets interrupted by the referee telling him no laser beams. Mario is confused about how that's an actual rule. While Mario argues with the ref, a girl throws a hog bike into the arena, and she tells Wario to use it on that guy. Wario chuckles and rides the bike, hitting an unaware Mario and sending him flying to the other end of the arena, with Link, Yoshi, and Kirby wincing at the sight of that. It looked painful, because Wario literally just ran this guy Mario over and sent him flying into the wall, with what could be called the Wario bike. While Mario's in the wall, Wario blasts electricity at him, because remember, Wario still has his powers that he got from the previous movie. In this cinematic universe, Wario has electricity powers that was granted to him by Fawful, while he had some of the Dark Star's power combined with the subspace particle. That's how Wario has powers. While Mario is being electrocuted, he looks up at the referee, who is literally pretending to be blind. Mario sees bags of gold next to him with Wario's logo, realizing that Wario obviously paid this guy off. Mario gets out of the blast and starts going ham on Wario, dodging every single one of his attacks and impressing Link. Mario eventually gets Wario into a chokehold and pins him against the wall, and Mario asks Wario why he's doing this. Wario says that he's just buying time. Link didn't hear what's going on through his earpiece, and he communicates with Yoshi and Kirby. Mario asks Wario what he means, and Wario says that he planted a subspace bomb below the club. Mario asks Wario why he should believe him, and Wario says he doesn't care if he doesn't believe him. He's out of here either way before the cave explodes. And then Wario explains that the Master Hand is more powerful in subspace, and if they plant enough, he can go toe-to-toe with Taboo, even if he has more subspace particles than him. So that's why they want to cover the planet in subspace. Wario asks Mario if he's willing to chase him down and capture him, or let these people die in the subspace blast. Mario tells him that they'll catch him and save everyone, and that he would rather die before allowing Wario to hurt these people. Link hears this through the earpiece and officially gains respect for Mario, realizing that this guy couldn't have killed Zelda. There's no way. Mario tells Link about the bomb through his comms, and tells them to look for the bomb. Link tells Kirby to look for the subspace bomb while he evacuates everyone. Yoshi and Kirby look for the bomb, and Kirby eventually finds it, revealing 2 Robs activating the subspace bomb. Kirby gives the signal, and Link forces everyone to leave the cave as it's about to blow up. Wario knocks Mario away and gets back on the motorcycle, riding away from the arena and towards the exit. Link prepares an arrow and shoots it at his front tire, halting it and making Wario propel into the air and hit the top of the entrance hard, knocking him out instantly. Mario helps evacuate out where they came from, and he joins the others at the other entrance of the cave leading to the ruins. Yoshi dashes, picking up an unconscious Wario, and they all run out of the exit as the subspace bomb explodes. Kirby gets out his warp star, and Mario and Link hop on as Yoshi continues can keep up with the warp star's speed. The people in the Fight Club are seen outside the blast radius of the subspace bomb, and it's revealed that they are all safe. On the warp star, Link tells Mario that he heard what he said to Wario about risking his life to save those people, and that he appreciated that statement and officially has his trust. Because Link knows a thing or two about sacrificing himself. Riding Charizard, Red and Ness see the subspace explosion engulf the cave several hundred meters in front of them, and they wonder about that. They approach Marth and Meta Knight and ask if they need a ride, saying that they're after what that tank has as well. Marth and Meta Knight agree to join them, and Marth hops on Charizard, with Meta Knight still flying after them. Mario, Link, Yoshi, and Kirby get far enough away from the subspace explosion and see a high-speed tank rushing towards them. Remember, they're on the other side of this thing. Mario gets a sparkling sensation within his body and hands and senses that the tank coming at them has a subspace particle. Remember, he can sense these kinds of things now with Taboo's powers. Donkey Kong and Zelda's character trophies are revealed on a moving platform traveling across a river. Luigi, Samus, Diddy Kong, Fox, and Falco have traveled together, with Fox leading them following the location of the floating island. And now Olimar is revealed in a nearby area, confronting a giant Rob in front of him. He has Pikmin scattered all over the Rob, doing damage to it, but it does a spin maneuver and forces all the Pikmin off of it. The Rob has subspace energy in it and prepares to use it on Olimar when it senses a blue speeder rapidly approaching it. It looks ahead and sees the blue Falcon speeding at it. The Rob fires lasers at it, and the blue Falcon dodges. Its pilot ejects from it, hitting Rob with Falcon Punch, revealing Captain Falcon. The Rob is destroyed in one hit, and Captain Falcon saves Olimar and his Pikmin. They tell each other that they're both after the floating island to find out why they were summoned here, and the two of them agree to team up. They wander through the area and find Luigi, Samus, Diddy Kong, Fox, and Falco standing on a cliff towering over the water leading to the floating island. They have a confrontation, but learn that they have the same goal: get to the island. And Captain Falcon and Olimar join their team. The platform speeds past them on the river and launches into the air, flying towards the island. Diddy Kong tries to catch them, but Fox stops him, saying that he can't catch up with it. Captain Falcon smirks and summons his Falcon Flyer and tells them that he can take them to the island. Captain Falcon is everyone in his Falcon Flyer, and Diddy Kong asks him to drop him on the platform so he can save Donkey Kong. Everyone agrees and actually wishes to help Diddy Kong, so now everyone wants to do this. Everyone jumps out of the Falcon Flyer, and Captain Falcon sends it to a different area on standby. The Robs managing the platform get ambushed by the fighters, and they quickly get overpowered. Diddy Kong thanks Captain Falcon as he revives Donkey Kong's trophy. DK breaks out of his chains and he reunites with Diddy Kong. Everyone observes Zelda's trophy there as well, and they revive her as well. Zelda asks what happened, and Samus updates her, telling her that they're going to the floating island so she can get her power suit and that it can hold the subspace particles. And with this, Zelda warns them about Ganondorf and the Master Hand. In the ruins, the tank stops when it sees Mario, Link, Kirby, and Yoshi. The fighters see Marth, Meta Knight, Red, and Ness and approach them on the other side of the tank. Mario asks if they're after the subspace particle too, and they confirm it. Mario officially meets Meta Knight, acknowledging that Meta Knight was Taboo's man on the inside. Mario tells Meta Knight that Taboo already has 2 of the subspace particles. And with this, Meta Knight says that the Master Hand has one of the other particles, therefore leaving this one as the final subspace particle. Mario, Link, Kirby, and Yoshi join up with Red, Meta Knight, and Marth. Red asks what the subspace particle is, and Mario explains it, leaving Red concerned, revealing it as the comet that Red and his gang had to deal with in the Pokemon movie. The tank forms into a battle machine named Gallium and reveals the subspace particle in its chest area. The fighters fight Gallium for a while, and Gallium uses the particle to deal damage to the fighters. Wario wakes up during the fight and freaks out. Everyone uses their abilities to counter Gallium's power the best they can. Because remember, the subspace particles are extremely powerful. Ness's PK attacks and Mario's subspace attacks are the most effective, and they finally get Gallium on the ropes. As Gallium is about to self-destruct, it reveals that it has a subspace bomb inside of it. They think of running, but Mario tells them that they need to get the particle. Ness hits Gallium's chest area with PK Pulse, and Link, Marth, and Meta Knight work together to slash at its chest area to pry the subspace particle out of its body. Mario takes the particle with his manipulation abilities, and they get the heck out of there. As they're running, Link asks Mario if he can create a portal out of here, based on the information Mario told Link, and Mario tries it. Mario sees the halberd still in the sky, and with enough concentration, he successfully creates a portal for all of them to go inside as Gallium's subspace bomb explodes, engulfing the area. Bowser sees the commotion from the halberd and hides when he sees a subspace portal open up above the halberd. Mario, Link, Kirby, Yoshi, Wario, Red, Meta Knight, and Marth fall through the portal and land on the halberd. They search around but don't find anything. Meta Knight talks talks with Mario about taking the particle to Taboo, with Mario actually deciding to hold on to it so it can protect them until they can get all of them to Taboo. Pretty good idea. Red hears this and actually protests, asking why they're giving the subspace particles away, because he didn't know about this. All he knew at this point was just what these particle things were. Red says that they're dangerous and that he personally had an encounter with it back in his home, so giving it away is something that doesn't sit right with him. Mario explains that he had the same kind of experience with it and assures Red that they're not going to be leaving the particles in the wrong hands. He tells Red about Taboo and how he wants to use the particles to stop the Master Hand and restore his people. Red hesitates but eventually agrees to help. One of Red's Pokeballs twitches in his pocket and he notices. Red takes it out and it's twitching intensely. Red sends out the Pokemon and Charizard comes out, immediately pushing past Red and blasting fire at the incoming fire blast from Bowser, who snuck up on them in his clown car. Charizard and Bowser blast fire at each other, trying to overpower the other. As the fighters try to process what's happening, Bowser's flame breath eventually overpowers Charizard's, and he eventually gets sent away with all of the fighters up against Bowser. In Taboo's domain, Taboo watches Luigi and Samus's group when he remembers refusing to help Mario create a portal to the halberd. He remembers how Mario and Meta Knight are going through all this to help Taboo out, and Taboo feels bad. He looks back at Peach, who has now healed by now, and he finally decides to help Mario, and then he gives Mario a call. While fighting, Mario gets a call from Taboo, and Taboo tells Mario that he's willing to help them get to the halberd. Mario says he actually doesn't need it anymore, and that they already created a portal there, telling them that they found a subspace particle. Taboo is surprised and switches his view to Mario's group fighting Bowser. Taboo asks why Mario didn't bring the particle to him, and Mario tells him that they need it right now, and that once they find the last particle, they'll give them to him. Taboo decides to live with it and agrees to help Mario. He looks back again at Peach and he asks her if she's ready. Bowser has the upper hand and uses his fire, strength, and subspace energy from his black energy machine to deal out attacks on his opponents. All of a sudden, another subspace portal opens up and Peach comes out using her heart power to force Bowser back. She forces Bowser into a heart-shaped force field like the beginning of the very first Mario Bros. Movie and telekinetically launches Bowser into the cockpit of the halberd at a very high speed, crashing him into it. Peach then uses her heart power to launch herself into the air and forces Bowser out of the cockpit. She launches Bowser above her, making him form the shape of a heart in the air before crashing him back down onto the surface of the halberd where they were fighting. Bowser groans in pain and Peach lifts him up again with her heart power and hovers him over the edge of the halberd, hundreds of feet in the air. The fighters try to calm her down and bring her back to her senses, but Mario is too stunned to move. Peach collects herself and pulls Bowser back onto the halberd with her power as he is restrained by the fighters. Mario stares at Peach as she turns around, finally seeing him. They reunite and have a moment to themselves as Link and the others have Bowser pinned down. Peach tells Mario that her full heart power has finally been restored, and that being healed by Taboo's subspace energy restored her full powers. So now after all this time, Peach's powers have finally fully been returned to her. Still detained, Mario approaches Bowser, and he wishes that Bowser could be a good guy for more than 5 minutes. Mario tells Bowser that he's going to take them to the Master Hand, who has the final subspace particle, and Mario's group officially takes back the halberd, flying towards the floating island. A shot of the research lab is shown, and it's revealed that Samus has successfully infiltrated the lab. On the platform, Captain Falcon asks where Samus went, and Samus overcoms tell them that she's already inside, asking if they're going to show up soon. The rest of the group makes it inside and they meet up with Samus. They ask what the plan is, and Zelda reminds them that they need to get the subspace particle from the Master Hand. However, a Rob shows up, confronting them, but Luigi quickly kicks it into the wall, destroying it instantly, showing off Luigi's devastating leg power and impressing everyone. So then they decide to split up. Samus goes on her own while everyone else goes together looking for the Master Hand. Ganondorf, in a different room, sees the fighters in the lab and prepares to counterstrike. Ridley's corpse is revealed being transferred into a different consciousness, resembling his form made of metal. Samus follows her tracker that leads to her suit to one of the rooms her power suit is in and finds her power suit in the center of the room. She heads for it, but then suddenly she instinctively dodges an attack coming from a Samus power suit clone, modified from Samus's power suit. The clone tells her in a robotic tone that its purpose is to defend the suit. Samus and the clone fight while still not wearing her power suit. The clone has Samus's similar attack patterns, but Samus is faster and lighter because she doesn't have her suit on, able to dodge attacks and sneaks them in. The clone also sneaks in some attacks on Samus, doing damage to her as Samus doesn't have her power suit to protect her. She takes her energy whip and latches onto the clone and tosses it to the other side of the room. Samus then takes this opportunity to break the glass pod holding the suit, activating it and putting it on quickly. The clone recovers and sees that Samus has re-entered her power suit, and the two of them duke it out. Luigi, Zelda, Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, Fox, Falco, all Olimar and Captain Falcon rush through the lab, plowing through any enemies they find, and break into one of the facilities within the bigger facility. There they see multitudes of Robs, as well as the ancient minister, Ganondorf, and the Master Hand. Ganondorf approaches them, telling them that he is impressed that they've made it this far without the subspace particles, but tells them that this is the end for them as he looks at Zelda. The fighters look behind them and see that some of the Robs have reattached the door they broke into, sealing them in the room. Ganondorf signals to the Robs to activate the subspace bombs in the area. The ancient minister looks back at Ganondorf and tells him that this is not what he agreed to. Ganondorf asks ancient minister if it's going to oppose him, and the ancient minister thinks about all the time sending Robs to their deaths by activating the subspace bombs. The ancient minister decides to stand up to Ganondorf and tell him not to activate all the subspace bombs. The Master Hand approaches the ancient minister and tells it that's what they are doing, and warns it not to oppose them. The ancient minister stands its ground, and the Master Hand uses the subspace particle on the Robs and telling them to fire at the ancient minister. The Robs all fire lasers at the ancient minister, and it catches fire, unable to stop them from retrieving the subspace bombs and preparing to activate them. Ganondorf laughs and tells the Master Hand he'll return to the island once the subspace explosion is over, and the Master Hand opens a portal for him. The Master Hand has the Robs as well as the other battle machines fight Luigi's group as he joins in with the particle. Samus gains the upper hand on the clone and finishes it off by picking it up and tearing it in half, deactivating the clone. She quickly leaves and rushes through the hallways of the facility where she hears commotion in another room. She peeks inside and sees a yellow rat-like creature being experimented on and electrocuted. In her power suit, she gazes in horror at the experiments and steps in, destroying the Rob doing the experiments and setting the yellow rat free. She lets the rat on her and asks if it's okay. The rat replies that he's good in a very Ryan Reynolds way, and she freaks out. The rat introduces itself as Pikachu and talks a little about how he got there, and they team up. Pikachu goes with Samus as they rush to meet up with the rest of the group. Luigi's group is desperately fighting the Robs as well as the Master Hand using the subspace particle. As the Master Hand is about to use a fatal attack with the particle on them, Samus busts into the room with Pikachu, and Pikachu displays its electricity attacks by striking several Robs at once. The ancient minister, still on fire, sees them come in, and Rob, Alpha Model, emerges from it, striking several different Robs with its laser beams. Not killing them. The other fighters do that, because that'd be hypocritical. It joins up with the fighters and fights with them. Samus targets the Master Hand, and she hits him with a multitude of laser beams with her power suit. The fighters turn the tide and gain the upper hand, destroying several of the Robs as some of them go back to activate the subspace bombs. Samus, Zelda, and Rob use their respective attacks on the Master Hand as he tries to combat it with the subspace particle, when Captain Falcon approaches him from behind and hits him with a devastating Falcon Punch, knocking him down and letting Zelda use her magic to strip the subspace particle from the Master Hand. She directs it and places it in Samus's latch in her power suit to hold the subspace particle, as that was the plan. The Master Hand struggles to get up, and the fighters look around, seeing that many mind-controlled Robs have activated subspace bombs and already have a timer going. They rush out of the room looking for an exit, and the Master Hand tries to pursue them. However, they're able to escape with the final subspace particle concealed in Samus's power suit. In a room below the facility, an undead metallic version of Ridley wakes up and breaks out of its pod, not fully revealing his figure. The fighters rush through the facility and find a massive drop leading to an exit. Captain Falcon directs them, and he summons his Falcon Flyer to the bottom of the drop as they land in it. As they fly through the hangar to the exit, they find that a metal dragon-like creature is quickly chasing them through the hangar and keeping up with the speedy Falcon Flyer, which is very difficult to do. Samus recognizes him as Ridley, seemingly reanimated into a metal form. Meta Ridley screeches, and Samus, seething with rage, emerges to the top of the Falcon Flyer, saying that she'll handle this. Pikachu, Fox, Falco, and Donkey Kong go up with her. Meta Ridley, on top of having his regular powers, has power enhancements from his machinery and hits the Falcon Flyer numerous times, slowing it down. They fight for a while and start to overpower Meta Ridley. As he tries to charge at them again, Samus feels a strong power surge in her suit, coming from where the subspace particle is in her suit. She powers it up more, and an immense energy blast, larger than she's ever seen before, comes out of her arm cannon and forces Meta Ridley back, with no hope of returning to them. Samus marvels at her power boost, but is also confused, and they are able to emerge from the island as the numerous subspace bombs blow up engulfing the entire floating island, with Meta Ridley getting caught up in the blast and killing him. Taboo notices a subspace explosion engulfing his domain and is forcefully being dragged into it. Taboo says that's impossible, that only a massive subspace blast bigger than his domain could be able to force him out. Mario's group, as they're about to approach the ocean leading to the floating island on the halberd, sees the massive subspace blast go off, and they quickly turn back to avoid getting caught up in the blast. They land on the coast where the group in the Falcon Flyer sees the ship land. They land near them and all parties come out of their ships to approach each other. Mario reunites with Luigi, and Link sees Zelda alive and well and reunites with her. Luigi sees that Mario's group has Bowser and Wario held captive, and Mario tells them that they were working with the Master Hand, and that they're staying with them until they get the subspace particles to Taboo. Samus hears this, reminding her that she wants to destroy the particles, and starts an argument, saying how they need to destroy the particles. Mario starts arguing his case, saying how Taboo needs them to stop the Master Hand and save his race. Samus continues her argument for how they're dangerous and how no one should be holding that much power. Besides, she doesn't know this Taboo and doesn't trust him to make the right choice with them. Mario turns to Luigi and asks whose side he's on, and Luigi quietly tells Mario how he's too trusting of Taboo and what if they're wrong about him. Mario reminds Luigi that because of Taboo, they had enough knowledge about the subspace to stop the Dark Star, and more of the characters barge in arguing what they think should happen with the particles. So now it's a big mess between these fighters. Mario and Link's side argues that they need to get the subspace particles to Taboo, while Samus and Luigi's side argue that they need to destroy the particles so that they can never end up in the wrong hands. Mario senses that the final particle is within Samus's power suit because, remember, he can sense these things, and asks Samus why she has the last particle if they want to destroy them so badly, with Samus admitting that she did feel powerful with them, but this doesn't change her mind. The only one who tries to end the conflict is Zelda and Yoshi, with Zelda having seen both sides of the argument, and Yoshi is just a peacemaker. The argument actually ends in a brief scuffle between the two parties, and they fight each other for a few minutes until a massive energy cannon emerges from the giant subspace blast sphere, like that contained atmospheric space. Inside the subspace, the Master Hand has confined Taboo and tries to force the two subspace particles he has from him to no avail. However, Taboo is in immense pain from the Master Hand's efforts. Ganondorf approaches the Master Hand and tells him that the cannon is operational just as planned, and he is ready for the cannon to use subspace energy to cover the planet in subspace. Even though the Master Hand lost the subspace particle he previously possessed, the Master Hand is pleased and tells Taboo if he just gave up the particles, this whole process could be over in a flash. The Master Hand tells Taboo he should be thanking him, reminding him that Taboo can only survive in the subspace. Eventually, Samus' side gives up on their argument and agrees to help Mario's side get the remaining two subspace particles to Taboo, but that they better be right about him. They asked about the cannon and they realize it's powering up. It fires a devastating blast of subspace energy across the sea and sets off another subspace explosion somewhere in the ruins, far enough from where they are but close enough to see it happen. They work together and aim to charge at the subspace blast sphere. The fighters all get in the halberd while Captain Falcon gets in his Falcon Flyer, and Fox and Falco summon Falco's starship to fly towards the subspace blast. At the top of the outside cannon, Ganondorf sees the ships approaching and directs the smaller blasts within the cannon to go towards their ships. The Falcon Flyer and Star Fox cruiser dodge the blast successfully, but the massive halberd is struggling. Meta Knight informs them of a devastating cannon that the halberd has, and if they can just aim it at the cannon, it can buy them enough time to get past the cannon. The halberd takes more hits from the smaller cannons and starts to lose its flight controls, pointing the main cannon and away from the subspace cannon. Captain Falcon directs his Falcon Flyer below the halberd and uses his thrusters to lift the halberd back into the air and to point the main cannon at the subspace cannon. When the main cannon gets in line with the subspace cannon, it releases a powerful blast directly hitting the subspace cannon, doing quite a bit of damage to it. Out of the corner of Ganondorf's eyes, he can see a small figure riding a fast, powerful-looking air ride. The figure is revealed to be Kirby, riding on the Dragoon, and he crashes directly into the cannon's core and coming out of it completely unscathed. The cannon promptly blows up and Ganondorf goes back into the subspace. The halberd can't stay in the air any longer and all the fighters hop into the Falcon Flyer, which leads to a subspace portal into this confined subspace sphere, with Kirby joining them, still riding on the Dragoon. Meta Knight looks back on his once proud ship and reminisces over its demise. The Falcon Flyer comes out of the subspace portal into the giant subspace sphere, and they land near where Ganondorf, the Master Hand, and Taboo are, with Taboo still being confined by the Master Hand. Taboo sees them and lights up. He can't see his great maze still in his domain, but remembers that Mario's group was able to find at least one of the particles. The fighters all get out and confront Ganondorf and the Master Hand. Ganondorf sees Bowser and Wario among harm them and accuses them of betraying them. Bowser says he didn't have a choice, but also says that Ganondorf probably would have betrayed him and would have taken all the credit. Ganondorf chuckles and probably agrees with him, because it happens in the game. He gets out a black energy arrow device and aims it at the fighters. Link bubbles with rage and charges at Ganondorf, with the rest of the fighters following suit. Ganondorf the Master Hand try to fight all the fighters at once, but there's too many of them. Mario sees that no one is guarding Taboo and goes to free him from his confinement. Taboo thanks Mario and Mario gives him the third Subspace particle. The Master Hand sees this and charges at Mario and Taboo. Mario leaps at him and gives the Master Hand a powerful punch, and Taboo, with the 3 particles, catches the Master Hand telepathically or telekinetically and changes the Master Hand's gravity, crashing the Master Hand down into the ground with immense force and pressure. Taboo tells Mario he'll handle this and to get the last particle. Ganondorf is quickly overpowered and is tossed away by the fighters, because remember, he still doesn't have any of the Triforce. Mario approaches Samus, requesting the last particle. Samus hesitates, but then gives him the final Subspace particle. Ganondorf struggles to get up, and Mario gives the final Subspace particle to Taboo, with all the fighters watching closely. Samus's side prepares for anything to happen, while Mario's side with Luigi trusts Mario's judgment. With Taboo receiving the final Subspace particle, Taboo grows Subspace wings, much like you see in the game, brimming with power. Ganondorf sees that Taboo has all the particles and frantically charges at him. Taboo, manipulating all the particles, catches Ganondorf by the throat, hoisting him up into the air and headbutting Ganondorf into the ground at almost the speed of sound. I did not mean for that to rhyme, but it did. Knocking out Ganondorf instantly, and thankfully not doing more. You ever crash into the ground at the speed of sound? You'd die instantly. Mario rejoins the other fighters and tells them that Taboo is going to stop the Master Hand once and for all, and that Taboo is going to bring his people back. He looks back and sees the Master Hand struggling to get up, and that charges at Taboo. And now Taboo summons 4 orange chains with spears on their ends from his back. He also uses some of his other powers, like other subspace spears and like weaponry and stuff like that he can summon. And he uses these orange spears to defend himself against the Master Hand. Master Hand and Taboo fight through the subspace, but Mario notices something. It looks like Taboo is toying with the Master Hand. Luigi notices this too and asks Mario about that. The Master Hand lands a hit on Taboo, and Taboo glares at the Master Hand, now going all out against the Master Hand, knocking around the Master Hand within the subspace domain with his subspace power and scratching and piercing the Master Hand several times with his spears. Now it's getting a little brutal and weird. The Master Hand becomes bruised and damaged and falls back in front of them. Link asks Mario why Taboo hasn't killed this guy yet, and almost all the fighters who haven't known Mario previously, even on Mario's side, start to grow apprehensive towards Mario, who was unaware this would happen. The Master Hand is again bruised and bloodied, and he makes a last effort to get up and charge towards an almost completely unfazed Taboo. The Master Hand flies towards him in the air, and as he's about to ram into him, Taboo uses the particles to form a barrier around him. The Master Hand loses consciousness and limply begins to fall once again towards the ground. However, Taboo directs his 4 orange spears to the center of the Master Hand in his palm region, like right in here, and does something unknown with the spears now all stabbing Master Hand in the center of, I guess, his body. The spears are all stabbing him through this, but we don't know what he's up to. Mario's confused and asking what he's doing to the others who are still uncomfortable by this situation. Eventually, blood starts leaking from the Master Hand, with him about to split apart. Link gets his Master Sword out, carefully eyeing the situation. The spears then graphically split the Master Hand in half, and blood goes everywhere. That right there is the most brutal part of this movie, but it is the only form of graphic violence in this movie. PG-13. I told you guys it would get intense, but before it gets too bad, it cuts back to Mario, who is horrified. Samus points her arm cannon at Mario and screams at him to explain what that was. Mario looks at Samus, still horrified, and Samus realizes that Mario didn't know this would happen. As the Master Hand dies, Ganondorf, who has struggled to get up, remembers how the Master Hand could only bring him back to consciousness temporarily with his power, and Ganondorf officially returns to his slumber that Link cursed him with at the end of the first Legend of Zelda movie. The fighters see Mario's sincere terror and realize this as well, that Mario had no idea that Taboo would just pull whatever he just pulled. The 2 bloody halves of the Master Hand fall away from each other, and all the fighters, including Mario, grow extremely apprehensive towards Taboo, who is approaching them. Taboo releases his blood-stained barrier, and more of the Master Hand's blood falls to the ground. Taboo thanks them for bringing him the subspace particles, and now he can bring his people back. Mario demands for him to not just speed past that and to explain why he had to kill the Master Hand so brutally. They knew it was gonna happen, but what the heck was that? Taboo grows frustrated and tells Mario that he killed him like he said he was going to, and why does it matter how he did it? All the fighters get into their battle stance, and Taboo is confused. Taboo tells the fighters that nothing's changed, and that the hand race will no longer be a threat to his people. Luigi tells Taboo that there is something that he's not telling them, and demands an explanation from Taboo. Taboo tells them that the subspace deity species can only exist within the subspace, which is something that they knew, but that the leaders of his home did not allow expansion of the subspace, so they could explore more freely. Taboo says he actually didn't care that the Master Hand was creating subspace explosions, and that he could just undo the explosions anytime he wanted with the particles. But he only cared about the Master Hand because he was planning to use that power against Taboo to finish what his race started, to finish off the subspace deity species. Mario remembers the story that Taboo told him about Namek and how he wished for expansion of the subspace. Mario asks him how much Taboo is planning to expand, and Taboo says everywhere. All of the fighters charge at Taboo, but Taboo makes little effort, stopping the fighters easily and using the spears to yank some of them down to the ground while getting the rest off of him with ease. The fighters all groan in pain, and Taboo tells them that even if he didn't have the subspace particles, there would be no match for him, and that now that he has all the particles, he can infuse himself with some of its power to leave the subspace into the open environment. If he has all 4 of the particles, he can give himself a bit of energy from each particle so that he can leave the subspace, so he can be in an open environment and can survive for at least a while without being in the subspace. That's what he means by this. Mario tries to use his subspace power on Taboo, but Taboo deflects it back on Mario, with Taboo asking Mario if he seriously has the audacity to use his own power against him. Still approaching the fighters, he promises he can save all their worlds from the multiversal level subspace blast and promises to share some of its power with them. Like, I'm talking subspace explosion, but much bigger than even just this island, like taking up the entire multiverse. That's what this dude Taboo is on right now. Taboo looks at Samus, telling her that he understands that Ceres, Samus's home, is facing a power crisis with the lack of Metroid corpses because they were slaughtered by Adam Malkovich. But even a small fraction of the subspace particle's power could light up Ceres for generations, solving their problems easily. Samus does her best to not acknowledge Taboo's offer, and tries her best to not be tempted by it. Taboo reminds the fighters that this was the plan all along, but that these fighters will be rewarded by living their normal lives on their worlds, while the rest of the multiverse would be engulfed in subspace. Seems like a good deal, right? The fighters refuse Taboo's offer, and Taboo asks why they would risk their lives for insignificant life forms around the multiverse instead of just letting the subspace deity species rule peacefully while the fighters continue with their normal lives. The fighters accept their place as the protectors of the people around the multiverse and tell Taboo they won't let him destroy them. Taboo is disappointed but accepts what he is about to do. Taboo says that it's time for Plan B. Bring the team together only to tear them apart. Taboo activates the particles and his wings surge with energy. The fighters brace for anything, but nothing can prepare them for the black energy blast coming from Taboo, turning all of them into trophies. Every single fighter that is confronting him into trophies except for Mario, who still has some of Taboo's subspace power. Mario is still bracing and looks around at his fellow fighters, now turned into character trophies. Taboo tells Mario he thought he'd be the only one not to turn into a character trophy, and says that he wanted to talk to Mario personally. Mario, who is absolutely pissed off, asks Taboo why he's doing this. Taboo tells Mario that his people were weak in their small confined space, which is why the hand race was able to raid his home. But with the subspace expansion, they'd never be put into that position again by anyone. Mario asks about Namek and if they had the same agenda. Taboo reveals that Namek had followers in his world, and it's revealed that Taboo was one of Namek's followers. Taboo says that Namek's followers had all been jailed on his home planet and would bear witness to Namek's execution. Taboo says that when the planet core was about to explode, his wife, who was visiting him, sacrificed herself for him to escape, and Taboo was able to narrowly flee the core explosion, launching him into the subspace atmosphere around the destroyed planet. One of the particles is revealed getting separated from the dead subspace deity king and ending up in Taboo's possession. Mourning surrounding his wife and world, while all the other subspace particles scattered. It's too much for Mario to process all this, and he starts to have a mental breakdown. Taboo says there was no reason for Mario and any of them to worry about this subspace blast, and all they have to do is stay out of his way, and they get to continue on with their happy lives with Luigi, Peach, his parents, and the people of Toad Town, while Taboo gets to reunite with his family. Mario, again filled at rage, screams at Taboo to not speak their names, and launches himself at Taboo with subspace power. Taboo sheds a tear for his former comrade and easily overpowers Mario, knocking him back to the ground. Taboo becomes rageful and tells him to get back up, and that he wants to look Mario in the eyes. He pierces Mario's hands and feet with the orange spears and forces him into the air, with Mario barely hanging on to life. Taboo says if Mario doesn't want to accept his generous offer, that he'll just cover the entire multiverse in subspace, including his home and family. Mario weakly tells him not to, but Taboo hovers Mario away from him, then forcefully yanks him towards him to kick him towards the ground at almost the speed of sound, ripping the spears out of his hands and feet. Mario lies on the ground weakly, mere feet away from the character trophies, and loses consciousness. Taboo approaches the trophies and Mario and apologizes that things had to end this way. He surveys all the fighters and is keeping a checklist of who is supposed to be there, because he's been planning this for a long time, and for whoever fighters is supposed to be there, because he brought them over to this land. He freezes when he realizes that they're missing one fighter who was supposed to be there with them. Taboo gets pissed, and he fills himself up with subspace energy, enough from each of the 4 particles, giving himself the power to exit the subspace. All of a sudden, the 4 subspace particles within him release a power surge and bring him to an illusion of a space with the subspace deity King, his wife, and Naybak. Taboo is emotional when he sees his wife and asks them why they're here. His wife begs him to stop what he's doing and that he needs to let them go, as he can't bring them back. Taboo weeps when he hears this and can't bring himself to stop. Naybak tells Taboo, his former follower, that he wanted to expand the subspace, but that covering the multiverse would be going too far. Taboo tells them that they'd be free, but Naybak asks if it's worth sacrificing the freedom of others, and Naybak blames himself for allowing his ideals to reach Taboo on such a devastating level. And now the subspace deity King reveals to Taboo that they were given a choice, that in the subspace deity species' first generation, they were given a choice to stay in the subspace by their creator, and that they chose to settle for that confined space, and that they were happy with that. Taboo tells the king where that got them, but then the king responds with the fact that not every great thing and way of life can last forever, and that Taboo alone can't change their fate. Taboo says that's why he's bringing everyone back, so that he can change their fate, and forces his way out of the subspace illusion, vowing to them that they'll see all of them on the other side of this illusion. Taboo flies outside of the subspace, amazed by the scenery, and feels the warm atmosphere surrounding him, not killing him due to the power he gave himself. He asks himself where the final fighter is, and flies towards the coast of the mainland of Chushin at almost the speed of sound. You guys want to know who the last fighter is? Sonic is seen lounging on the beach, still frustrated that Mario rejected his offer to join the team. The other people at the beach are confused to see a blue hedgehog lounging on the beach with them. He lurks in the coast, noticing the faraway subspace explosion blast sphere, wondering what that is. All of a sudden, Taboo speed blitzes to Sonic's location, levitating directly before him, startling Sonic and freaking everyone out. Taboo belows Sonic's name and demands to know why he wasn't with the rest of his fighters. Sonic sees that there are 2 Pyramids with Taboo. Sonic doesn't know what he's talking about, but says that he applied for a position in Mario's team and got denied. Dumbfounded, Taboo asks why Mario would do something like that. And then Sonic tells Taboo that he told Mario that he was really fast. Taboo asks how fast, and Sonic, embarrassed, tells Taboo that he didn't specify. Taboo is now incredibly annoyed, and clarifies with Sonic that Mario doesn't know that Sonic can travel at practically the speed of light. Sonic confirms it, but questions why Taboo knows so much about him, and asks who he is. Taboo says that doesn't matter now that he has the 4 subspace particles, and tells him that he's going to turn Sonic into a trophy to add to his collection of fighters. Bring the team together just to tear them apart. Taboo charges at Sonic at high speed, but becomes slow motion due to Sonic reacting at pretty much light speed. With everything slowed down around him, Sonic says that this guy said it himself, that Sonic can travel at practically light speed, and to never challenge him to a game of tag. Sonic sees that Taboo is still moving at a much slower speed than him, and Sonic is able to avoid incoming attacks easily. He breaks out of slow motion and yells at the people at the beach to get out of here, and he notices the subspace particles that are with Taboo. Sonic says to himself that he heard Mario mentioning those things, and that he wants to take them as a souvenir. And then Sonic speed blitzes at Taboo, reaching for the particles. He crashes into Taboo, and Taboo drops one of the particles. Taboo freaks out, and Sonic reaches out for it as it touches the ground. Sonic catches the particle with his hand and finds himself in the massive subspace blast sphere after releasing a flash of yellow lightning. Sonic quickly releases the subspace particle from his hand as his hand was getting hot from the particle. He held this thing for literally like such a small amount of time, and it was already getting hot in his hand. That's how powerful these things are. Taboo sees that he now only has 3 subspace particles, and he blows off steam. The Primids ask Taboo that since he doesn't have all the particles, if he can still survive out here. And Taboo says it's fine, as he infused himself with enough subspace energy to survive with only 3 of the subspace particles. He tells the Primids that they're returning to the subspace to build an army to control Chushin, so then they can take over the rest of the multiverse. Sonic, now in the subspace, sees the character trophies around him and sees a lifeless and bloodied Mario in front of him. Sonic crouches in front of him, stunned, and wonders what happened here. He sees Luigi's character trophy and tells him that he looks like Mario. He notices the circle base at the bottom of the trophy and lightly kicks it, accidentally reviving Luigi and freaking him out. Luigi collapses in front of him, panting. Sonic helps him up, asking Luigi what happened. Luigi looks desperate and sprints to Mario's side, gazing at the horror that happened to him. Luigi sees the subspace particle and asks Sonic if he brought that here. Sonic says yes, and Luigi asks him how. Sonic then explains how there was this floating blue guy that approached him, wanting to turn him into a trophy, but that he escaped with that glowing ping pong ball. Luigi tells Sonic that they need to revive everyone here, and they do so. Every fighter there is revived, and they all see Mario. Peach is devastated, and she rushes to Mario's side with Luigi. Even Bowser sees what happened to Mario, and he is stunned at the state he's in. Peach desperately asks if there's a way to save Mario, and Zelda brings the subspace particle that Sonic brought over to them. Zelda tells them that the subspace energy Taboo infused into Mario is killing him now, and to save him they need to extract the subspace energy out of him, telling them that it's dangerous. Peach agrees to use her heart power to heal Mario in the process, and they work on bringing Mario back. The rest of the fighters watch as Mario's body begins to levitate in the air as a result of Peach using her heart power to heal Mario, as Zelda uses the subspace particle to extract the subspace energy from Mario's system. The wounds in Mario's hands and feet heal, and all of Mario's injuries disappear as the cosmic look on his clothes disappear. Mario's back in his red clothes, red hat, and blue overalls, and his body releases a wave of light as his eyes open up with fire. Everyone covers their eyes from the light, and Mario lands on the ground, summoning fire from his hands without having a fire flower power up. Remember Mario having fireballs in Super Smash Bros. Without actually having it? Well, he can finally do that now. Mario recovers and everyone surrounds him, with Mario confused about what happened, especially seeing Sonic there. After reuniting with everyone, Mario sits down and apologizes to everyone about Taboo and how he was wronged about him, and also how he was convinced that he actually wanted to do the right thing, and also how Mario made everyone feel that way as well. At this point, no one blames Mario, and they acknowledge that Taboo manipulated Mario into helping him. Meta Knight also admits that Taboo played him as well, and that he's equally at fault. And even Samus tells him that they were all wrong. Both sides of the previous argument were wrong. One about Taboo, but also about destroying the subspace particles, clarifying that Sonic got here with one of them, and thus saving the fighters. Samus tells Mario that they may be able to stop Taboo with the very power he holds, and they come up with a plan to take him down together as a team. Mario, Link, and Samus lead the plan and tell everyone that their team was formed from a lie, but that shouldn't stop them from fighting for truth. I don't know, that line might be corny. I might switch it up later if it's corny, but I just at least wanted to throw that quote out there. And for the people in the multiverse, Mario tells everyone how Taboo's leader, Nabak, was killed with subspace energy entering directly into his body, and how if they get all the particles, they can try that on Taboo. Salvation becomes condemnation. Everyone goes with the plan, and they travel together to confront Taboo. Taboo is on the other side of the subspace engulfed island, Holland, forming his army of subspace creatures with subspace energy, such as Primids and other monsters. He tells his commanding Primids that he needs to check on the trophies and prepares to go towards their location. However, he sees that the very fighters he summoned are marching towards his location. Taboo is furious and prepares the 3 subspace particles he holds. As the team approaches Taboo's army, Link asks what they should be called. Mario asks Wario since he's apparently the king of marketing. Wario is still reluctant to be there, but he has enough morals to not watch the multiverse be destroyed by subspace. He mentions to them that there was a Smash tournament, or so it was told, that he raided, and that this really isn't that much different. Mario agrees and starts to say, how about the Smash Bros? When Samus tells them they're here and get ready to fight. So Mario gets interrupted as he's about to say what their team name is called, when Samus interrupts them. Samus tells everyone to get ready to fight. Ness mentions the fact that he's a child, but they all prepare to fight. Mario, Link, Samus, Luigi, Red, Zelda, Peach, Wario, Bowser, Bowser Jr., Kirby, Meta Knight, Yoshi, Marth, Ness, Olimar, Captain Falcon, Pikachu, Fox, Falco, Diddy Kong, Rob, and Sonic. Not Ganondorf, he's still slumped. They have another confrontation with Taboo, and they battle it out. The Primids are mostly easily overpowered by the team, and the team has developed chemistry and coordination to work well together. Mario uses his fresh fire powers to deal a great amount of damage to the numbers that Taboo throws at them. Taboo sees this and is puzzled by Mario's new power, as well as the fact that Mario has reverted back to his regular form. So no more subspace powers for Mario, but he's got something even better. Fire without a fire flower. And this is improved fire, so it's more powerful fire. The team makes it to Taboo, and Zelda uses the subspace particle as well as her Triforce power on him, and everyone else uses their respective attacks on Taboo, trying to take the particles away from him. Taboo creates a massive subspace portal behind him, leading to a different dimension, and they all fall through the portal, falling through the sky. They go through Hyrule, then Bowser's Castle, wrecking it after they were almost done fully repairing it. They go through more portals through more of the fighters' homeworlds, such as the Pokemon world. While this is happening, a peculiar unseen Pokemon sees the brief commotion while on its mountainside home. We do not know who this Pokemon is. And then the final portal leads to San Francisco on Earth, on the Golden Gate Bridge, which is where the final battle will be taking place. The traffic there is overwhelmed by the team and Taboo crashing on the bridge, dealing unintentional damage to it. The people are also animated, so it's not like live action people, because that'd be weird. Or I don't know, maybe they will, I don't really care. People freak out in attempts to evacuate the bridge by the sudden characters falling out of a portal. The fighters get up and stare at Taboo as he stares back at them. Taboo asks them to see how long they can protect their precious people of the multiverse. He creates another portal and numerous subspace creatures emerge from it. The team quickly makes a plan for some fighters to take on Taboo, while others deal with the creatures. Red flies on Charizard, taking Link with him, and numerous fighters take on the creatures. Link fires arrows at several creatures while riding Charizard, and many of the fighters are able to get rid of the creatures quickly. Sonic stays with Mario, Donkey Kong, Samus, and Captain Falcon, and at an immensely high speed, gets every single citizen on the bridge to either side to safety. Sonic returns, and Mario mentions that Sonic never told him he was that fast. Sonic mentioned that he was fast, but Mario thought he meant like he was just fast for a regular hedgehog or something like that. Sonic asks how that would be useful in literally any way, and Mario tells them that they'll communicate better in the future. Red sends out Ivysaur and Squirtle and has them up against a subspace kaiju. The kaiju shoots a beam of water at the buildings with enough pressure to damage them. Squirtle sees his chance and approaches the massive kaiju, challenging it. The kaiju sees Squirtle and prepares another water blast. Squirtle builds up all his strength and counters the kaiju's blast with his own. Charizard sees what's happening and rushes to help Squirtle when it sees Squirtle glowing, with Red realizing what's happening. Squirtle evolves into Wartortle and overpowers the kaiju's water blast with his own, forcing the kaiju back. The fighters are relieved and impressed, and they all jump the kaiju, with Marth finishing it off with his sword. Captain Falcon tries to hit Taboo with his Falcon attacks, but is deflected by Taboo and forced back. Donkey Kong lands a powerful punch on Taboo from the side, but the punch barely phases him. We're talking about Donkey Kong here. Mario throws numerous fireballs at Taboo and releases a fire blast, but is deflected by Taboo's subspace power. Sonic speed blitzes Taboo several times, but can't deal enough damage to Taboo before Sonic is eventually overpowered as well. And then Samus hits Taboo with blasts of energy, and Taboo tells Samus that she surely wouldn't want to be wasting those dead Metroids on him. This makes Samus furious, and she bombards Taboo with missiles. Caught off guard, the fighters up against Taboo manage to sneak in hits, doing a little bit of damage to him. Sonic then speeds to Link's location, as they're starting to have it under control, and Link's revealed destroying any subspace creature creatures that come up to him or try to target civilians. Link asks Sonic who has the particle, and they see Zelda still harnessing the subspace particle, the one subspace particle that they have, to destroy numerous subspace creatures combined with her Triforce power, because Zelda's probably the best among them at using the subspace particle, because she is so powerful with magic. And then Link asks Sonic how he used the particle to get to them initially, and Sonic says he touched it and brought him there to the subspace. But then Sonic freezes and remembers what happened. You guys might be a little bit confused how Sonic touched the particle and then was instantly transported to the subspace with yellow lightning behind him. This part's about to get explained. When Sonic touched the subspace particle, he turned into Super Sonic and released yellow lightning around him as Taboo looked completely frozen in time. We are talking about a figure who travels at almost the speed of sound, frozen completely in time as Sonic holds the subspace particle and in his supersonic form. He's confused because he thought only the Master Emerald could turn him into supersonic. In this flashback, he then moved what seemed like only a few inches towards the subspace blast sphere, but then was transported there instantly. As in, that's how fast he went. He seemingly moved only a little bit, but then he was there already because of how fast he was, dropping the particle and returning to his regular form and releasing yellow lightning behind him because he was in his yellow supersonic form. This gives Link an idea, and he calls Zelda on his communication stone, asking her to throw the subspace particle his way. She asks why, and he says just do it. He has an idea. As Zelda prepares to throw the particle, one of the creatures lands on her, making her throw the particle way higher in the air than intended. Taboo breaks from the fighter's attacks and knocks everyone away. He then speed blitzes at Mario, choking him and pinning him to the ground, full of vengeance, telling Mario he might just personally wipe out the Mushroom Kingdom without the subspace blast. Link focuses up, seeing the subspace particle in the air that Zelda threw to him. The creatures target the subspace particle as the other fighters see it. Link aims an arrow at the subspace particle and sees that for a brief moment, the subspace particle reveals itself as its true identity, a Smash Ball, with the logo on it and everything, the Smash Ball logo. Link releases the arrow and it pierces the subspace particle, infusing the arrow with subspace energy. The arrow falls back down and Link catches it, and his body begins absorbing subspace energy, giving him an almost overwhelming power boost. Zelda freaks out and the fighters there clear out any enemies targeting Link, but also him catching the arrow blasted every subspace creature away from him. Link feels immense power and steadily readies a light arrow, like I'm talking those powerful light arrows from the Zelda games, revealed that the arrow is powered by the particle, aiming it several hundred yards away from him, directly at Taboo, who is pinning Mario down. He releases the subspace particle infused arrow and it travels a great distance. The arrow then pierces Taboo directly in the chest, releasing subspace energy directly into his body, making Taboo cry in pain, releasing the remaining particles into Mario's hands. Mario takes the 3 particles and jams them into Taboo's body as the energy gradually seeps into Taboo's body. Massive amounts of subspace energy are released onto both of them, creating a powerful surge and signal into the surrounding area. Mario pushes past the pain of 3 powerful multiversal objects and forces the subspace particles into Taboo's body. The particles make their way into Taboo's body, and Taboo is on the verge of being destroyed by the particles. Taboo freaks out and pleads with Mario, telling him that if Mario stops him, Taboo won't be able to see his family again. Mario coldly tells him not to worry, and that he'll see them again real soon. Taboo spirals into a frenzy, charging at Mario when Donkey Kong comes in and uppercuts Taboo to the top of the Golden Gate Bridge. Bowser is waiting there and gives Taboo a devastating drop kick, launching him and flying into the sky. The subspace particles make Taboo explode in the air without a single civilian casualty, blowing him up in the same exact way Namek blew up and returning the subspace particles to the team. With Taboo destroyed, the exhausted fighters reunite and celebrate saving everyone. And after reconnecting with their friends, the team recalls the fact that the subspace blast spheres could be reverted at any time with the subspace particles because of this information that Taboo told them earlier. The team returns to Chushin, and the team works together with the particles to clear Chushin of any subspace explosions that occurred there, with the last one being the biggest one covering the entire floating island and now abandoned research station. After they've recouped, the team decides to make a base out of the research station on the floating island as a bridge between all their worlds in case they ever need to unite again from their respective universes. The team decides to keep the 4 particles locked in a vault beneath the base, and that they would guard it whenever another enemy arises to threaten the peace within the multiverse. And they find a way to bring everyone back to their home universe with the subspace particles. And with that, epilogue. And now, for the post-credits scene. The massive subspace surge caused by Mario on Taboo is shown again while they're on the bridge. And as Mario forces the particles into Taboo, a powerful enough signal is released. The unseen Pokemon from the mountainside, Mewtwo, is revealed on Mount Quina? Quena? I don't know how to pronounce it, but that's where Mewtwo's from. And the Johto region has just sensed a powerful signal. And now we are taken to a realm of great darkness. And there is a captive being held prisoner inside. A large ball of light dims weakly as the peculiar wings around it, not exactly wings, but are held by chains of darkness while it's exposed to this dark atmosphere by whatever realm this is. The ball of light slowly lights up and appears to look up, having sensed the same signal. And that is it for the Super Smash Bros. Movie. Holy length of this video. Hi everyone, thank you for watching. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning into this video. The first Super Smash Bros. Movie. Up next, we have the second Metroid movie, and I will reveal the title of that name. You guys might like it when you hear it. Samus's adventure will be continuing back in her home world, but now this first team-up movie is finally complete, and the team has assembled all of the subspace particles together to keep on Chushin as their base. Regarding Taboo, I want to talk about Taboo real quick and what I wanted to do with him. In the Subspace Emissary adventure mode for Smash Bros. Brawl, Taboo is just revealed as this like omnipotent being that just shows up out of nowhere during the adventure mode, but I wanted to do something special with him. I wanted to turn a guy like that who does not have a single piece of dialogue, and I wanted to turn him into this mysterious but seemingly good character, like fully fleshed out character that would seem like a supporting hero in this universe, but that his intentions would finally be revealed, and that this guy being exposed as a different character from his game counterpart could bring up theories as to if this guy was actually a good guy or if he was going to betray Mario, which in this case he betrayed them. But it was open to theories, and I feel like, and I also wanted to give this guy a fully fleshed out story and an actual motive, an actual reason for doing what he's doing. So I hope you guys liked what I did with Taboo. I like it personally, but hopefully you guys liked it as well. So again, we have the Metroid sequel up next. Again, thank you all for tuning in. I have been recording this for a long time now. I tried to speedrun it, but I just can't help but put details in and be specific. So hopefully you guys were okay with that. I know some of these characters didn't really have large roles, like Marth and Olimar. Everyone does have speaking lines. It's just that I just want to get as many characters as I can while focusing on like the more main characters, you know what I'm saying? So hopefully you guys are okay with that. So everyone, that'll conclude this video. Until next time. So everyone, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you guys hit the like button normally and subscribe to join the herd. Become a VIP herd member today, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!